Falcon Zero here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have another episode of Game vs. Game, and today it's going to be Zelda Breath of the Wild versus Super Mario Odyssey, with both of these games scoring 97 out of 100 on Metacritic and 10 out of 10 on IGN. Let's see what is going to be the best game here. And again, this is my opinion and my opinion only. This was a super hard choice for me as I love both of these games so much, but I had to pick one at the end of it. Now with that underway, let's get started. First, let's start off with the gameplay, and both of these games play incredibly well, with the advanced physics engine done so beautifully in Breath of the Wild. It gave the game a whole new aspect on how to think and play and solve puzzles in that game. And in Mario Odyssey, it gave a whole different feel with Cappy, letting you be able to take control of different enemies in the game and solve puzzles that way and collecting your power moons. Also, in any Mario game that I ever play, and this one included as well, I feel the controls are just so precise and accurate, and it was done 100% again in this game, and I'm gonna have to give the first round to Mario Odyssey. The second category we're going to do here is length of the game. Now, Breath of the Wild was a lot longer than Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey was short, but gave you some extra power moons to collect after the game was finished, which I have gone back and I've collected some of the power moons, but Breath of the Wild gave you so much more with just finding all the shrines, doing the side quests, tackling the divine beasts, going through finding different fairy fountains, and just exploring in the game, and I love that of Breath of the Wild, and I'm a huge fan of games that last a long time, and I'm gonna have to give this one here to Breath of the Wild. The next category we're gonna go over here is difficulty, and out of both of these games, I think Breath of the Wild is a more difficult game than Mario Odyssey, with the collectibles, the shrines, the side quests, those Korok seeds. Curse those Korok seeds, there's so many of them. Yeah, that guy. I'll never find you all. Never. But with Mario Odyssey, with there being a lot of power moons, it was just an easier game overall. And I feel like that appealed to more people not being so lost in the game, because people might lose interest in Breath of the Wild if that's not a game that they're into, and Mario being something much easier for someone to pick up and play. With that being said, I am going to have to give this one to Mario Odyssey here, being targeted on a wider audience, and then some people losing focus on Breath of the Wild that maybe do not want that much of a challenging game. Now, for the story mode, Mario has always had a pretty basic story. Bowser kidnaps Peach, you go stomp on some Goombas, and then you rescue her. And this game had a little bit more story mode in depth, as they're all dressed up in wedding clothes, and you're thinking Mario maybe is going to get to marry Peach at the end of the game, but I'm not going to spoil anything on what happens there at the end of that. But as for Breath of the Wild, that story I think was put together a lot better, as you were trying to figure out what happened with Link 100 years ago, and you're tracking down your memories, and they're in pieces, and each memory that you find, you get to find this cutscene, and you get one more answer to the puzzle that you're trying to solve, and I'm gonna have to give this one to Breath of the Wild, for just keeping you on your toes the entire game and trying to figure out what happened to Hyrule 100 years ago. Now, the final category we're going to go over here is changing the formula. Now, in Mario Odyssey, they finally brought Mario back into a 3D game again. And he had not been in a 3D game since Mario Galaxy. And sure, you can say 3D World was a 3D Mario game, but it just wasn't the same as Galaxy when you're going and exploring in a 3D Mario game. But in Mario Odyssey, it was so nice to see him back again, going to different kingdoms and getting power moons to collect on your Odyssey and progressing through the game that way. It was so nice to see Mario back in a game like that. Now, for Zelda Breath of the Wild, they changed up their formula completely with the open world, the side quests, and letting you play the game in any order you wanted to. They didn't have any set path in Zelda on what you wanted to do, and they were so linear in their games before that. With that being said, I am going to have to give this one to Breath of the Wild for changing the formula. Now, for the final tally up on this game versus game, I'm going to have to give it to Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this was a super hard decision for me to pick on these games, as they brought so much to the table, and I would love to know which game you think is better and what reason why you think the game is better. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button for me, please subscribe and share the video, and as always people, show me your moves.